as cruel as it is deceitful. Tragedy is ignored in pursuit of a happy mind. Those who seek more venture beyond the veil. They venture into the vortex.
Unconditionally defend all men while simultaneously bashing all women.
Your statement that 16-year-old minors are more attractive than adult women.
Do I think Pearl is ugly? No. I think she's really fucking stupid.
We don't need personal pronouns. I don't think it's kind to allow people to live in delusion.
I'm doing this for money.
Women divorce for no reason all the time.
You just need to talk to more people.
It's all about money to me.
You guys aren't going to stop. I do think men and women cheating is different.
The fact that people are making these videos is my own fault, and the situation that I'm in is my own fault.
Having gone through 2 pregnancies, that I cannot imagine going through that against your will. That is just insanity. It's barbaric.
Yeah. So,
it's my body. I'll do whatever the fuck
there you go.
want.
No, it's Pearl.
There it is.
No, it's Pearl's body.
And there it is.
Sheila's always right.
We just took a DNA test, turns out we're 100% the best, even when we're going crazy, because we do see problems, that's the human in us. Blame.
I never thought that I would see something worse than what I've already seen from this woman. I've seen her say the most unhinged, dumbass shit. I've seen her do the "why can't we ask questions about Jews" song parody that she did. And I did not realize that there was something worse out there. I can't believe it. I'd never realized there was something worse than that. There's more? Please stop. No, there isn't.
Then we solve them, that's a salesman.
If you've been on TikTok or YouTube recently, you may have seen a few videos of Pearl from Pearly Things floating around. So, contrary to popular belief, this 26-year-old stunner of a red pill supermodel is herself unmarried, not particularly religious, not a virgin, and seems to be making a good living for herself with her online content.
Wide open because of some of the things that came out of her mouth. And I decided I needed to do another Just Pearly Things video because she's somehow gotten worse. She somehow keeps outdoing herself, and I just need to talk about it. I need to share some of the things I've witnessed come out of her mouth recently.
She has no idea. She wants to abolish divorce, which is an incredibly radical position, but she doesn't have any idea how any part of the legal system works. I've spent all of 90 minutes researching divorce, okay? And I know the answers to all of these questions. She's supposedly doing a documentary. The reason why irreconcilable divorce is what's written on a lot of things is because when you go to court and you file for divorce,
Family court is based off of a balance of probability. So it means it's more like
balance of probabilities is based on evidence. Ethan, can I call in?
People change, right? Especially when people
Ethan's
get married young.
Ethan's not prepared
Stuff
enough on the
happens.
legal
People change,
arguments.
People go through shit. People grow apart. A lot of the men who end up being abusive, you hear, were one way.
I wish Ethan knew that phrase. All of Pearl's arguments rest on her not understanding what a preponderance of evidence is. Like, every single argument Pearl is making is her misunderstanding.
Okay.
Oh, there we go. Nice job, Ethan.
No, I want to talk about marriage. Like, this is the big, I think one of the great conversations we ever had on this panel was about marriage. One of the ones that I got the most positive feedback about from people who felt like it really edified them. But there's a real move on parts of the right to oppose marriage now. It's run by the ostensible red pill crowd, which, it's interesting how the meaning of red pill has evolved over the last 5 years to essentially now mean I would say anti-woman. They would say pro-man, but I think it's far beyond pro-man. I think it's decidedly anti-woman in many ways. And you see people who, I think some of them are bad actors who are peddling it, but then you also see people like Pearly Things who, I don't know Pearl. I don't know if she's a bad actor or not. I kind of get the sense that maybe she's just a naive person being kind of dragged along out of half desire to be famous and half probably hasn't read a book. And half of that I can relate to.
But the other half you can also relate to.
But I do think it's this interesting question that is harder to talk about in one-on-one settings. It might befit this format. Just to talk about what is the role of men and women, what is the role of marriage in a society that has essentially turned its back on the concept of marriage, that is legally encoded anti-man
and
Policies,
and then
indoor
abolish
legal
the
code.
definition of marriage. When I did it the first time,
You couldn't pay me. You pay me $1 million, I wouldn't.
no, I love it because these poor girls, man. The whole thing with that show, which is why it's so funny, is you get.
Hold on,
girls,
I'll pay you $10,000.
You're really gonna do it.
Yeah, like 11. No, the thing with that show that makes it very funny is guys go on and they make fun of these girls who have OnlyFans who are like 18 and don't know anything. And then the guys completely destroy them. And then the girls look like dummies. And then the clip goes viral. And I felt it would be wrong to do that. I felt I might get a lot of views, but I might also burn in hell for eternity. And I thought about it for a moment. And then I thought, no, okay, I won't do it.
Why can't we?
So let's start with Pearl Davis. So Pearl Davis is an anti-feminist who has become pretty popular these days. A lot of people label her sort of a female Andrew Tate, although without the checkered past. And here is Pearl Davis talking about marriage. I want to go through some of the stats with regard to the benefits of marriage because I think that it's also possible to exaggerate how bad things are for men. That doesn't mean they aren't really bad for men who end up divorced, or that women aren't divorcing men at an incredibly high rate overall, or that women aren't initiating the vast majority of divorce. Like, again, I agree with many of the critiques of current marital law. I agree with a lot of that stuff. The problem is that when you take it so far that you say that the solution for men is to not get married, now what you have done is you've created a second order effect where unmarried men become actual menaces. Okay, the reality is that men channel their aggressive drives toward building, or they channel it toward destroying. And a system in which women are unmarried and men are unmarried, that's something that the left wants. And if you acquiesce in that, then you actually end up destroying the very fundamental basis of society that allows for the growing and building of a society beyond the leftist principles. My answer to Pearl is both and. But yes, get married, and also we should work to change those laws. But by the way, the way that we date has an effect on how we get married and who we get married to. I mean, when I dated my wife, we went in knowing, as we began to date, that we were not going to sleep together until we were married. We knew for a fact that we were going to have long conversations about things that mattered.
This is the dude who makes all these really beautiful custom Lego. Golly.
Oh, God.
Cringe.
Nightmare mode.
Sounds like a blue pilled attitude to me.
Yeah. I was kind of hoping this was like a good faith interview.
Wait, what's bad faith? I'm literally showing you clips of you saying stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. What about this interview has been bad faith?
I just think you're kind of trying to push an agenda and you're not. Yeah, I just think you're trying to push an
That's a clip of you saying that. You can disavow it. That would be super easy to say I was wrong.
Full interview where I'm quoting somebody. Like, if you watch the full interview, I am quoting somebody. And now you're trying to pin me down about a topic that I don't dive into.
Okay, so you disavow. Just disavow it then. That's easy. Just say, I don't think slavery was embellished. I mean, that's super easy. That's like a layup. See, it's not hard. It's not hard. That's awesome. That's easy to do. George Washington...
you want me to apologize? Like, you want me to talk about every single one of this man's opinions?
No, I just want I just want to know what you think, because it's not true. Because it's just not true. It's not true.
What I'm bringing up is I'm not even allowed to have this conversation without.
What do you mean not allowed?
That, but I mean, we're giving you the platform.
I mean, I got months of backlash for this. I'm now like, you guys are kind of trying to do a gotcha moment.
No. I didn't know about the backlash. I promise.
I'm not really.
That's horrible. Yeah, I disagree.
Horrible.
That sucks. So do you agree with his statement, though? Who is they? I don't know who's they. Just your haters or someone?
Applying earlier.
First of all, it is relevant that your mom is the president when you're talking about.
You didn't know any of the backlash I got.
Well, who cares? You said it. Just own it.
No, I'm asking. You didn't know any of the backlash I got.
I didn't know about it.
No idea. Even though you got that from a video that my ex-co-host made about me.
There's been a whole diverse.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me on. But I'm gonna go. Thank you.
George.
Thank you. Whoa.
I just don't understand why you can't.
She was panicking at the end there. Holy shit. What the hell?
First of all, I genuinely did not know that it was such a sore point for her. I mean, it is a crazy thing to say.
I mean, she gets backlash all the time for all the things that she says. Why is that one so off limits?
He was arrested. A massive hole existed in the manosphere for casual misogyny and defensive culture at large. Gee, whatever shall they do? And with that, many creators popped up to fill that void. Creators like Bacon and Eggs, I mean Fresh and Fit, janky half-rate Tate ripoffs like Sneeko, and a 6'1" former volleyball star who went by the name Just Pearly Things, who became one of the most heavily discussed and infamous members of the manosphere by far in 2022 and 2023.
You deleted it. You obviously thought you shouldn't have posted it.
She has millions of viewers on the internet and on social media, and she's complaining about being canceled. The crisis is that this is what is profitable now. This clickbait, this type of racial incitement is profitable on the internet. Pearl will disappear. She will disappear, like many others before her, because this is something that's just a moment in time. She's like a train wreck. It's like a car crash. You know, for example, you know you shouldn't be looking at it, but you can't take your eyes off it.
While Piers Morgan in this circumstance seems to stand against what Pearl says and gives her a lot of pushback, Pearl had previously appeared on the Piers Morgan talk show a couple of times and received very minimal pushback for her controversial views from Piers Morgan.
We're not done yet. I came back to say, I feel kind of bad for Pearl, even though that probably sounds very odd as that sounds, but I'm also very hungry, so once I eat, that'll go away. But I did want to say, I do feel slightly bad for her, because even if she does think this way, isn't it kind of sad?
Now, one of these influencers is a woman named Pearl Davis, who has garnered a relatively large following on YouTube and various social media platforms. She's in her mid-20s, single and childless, and yet full of opinions about modern marriage and family life, a subject that she has no personal insight into whatsoever. She spent the past few days on the internet complaining about quote-unquote trad cons like myself, who, she says, promote the nuclear family despite not understanding what it's really like. Yes, we men who actually have wives and children don't know what it's like to be married, but a woman who is not married and has no children does know what it's like.
I can't find it.
Maybe she genuinely sees her work as an act of good. Or maybe it's possible that Pearl is only doing all of this to feel a sense of pride and acceptance that she herself has never received. Because believe it or not, Pearl wasn't always like this. Before all the hate and desperation that plagues her image today, Pearl's life actually seemed far less polarizing just a couple years ago.
Pick me Pearl, the girl who will never be picked. Today we're talking about Hannah Pearl Davis. She's a 27-year-old and unmarried, by the way. Better known online as Just Pearly Things or simply as Pearl. She's an American YouTuber and political commentator.
If a woman's 35 and unmarried, it's likely that she will never get married.
Ooh. Oh. She ain't got much. She's 27?
Ain't that crazy? All this 2 minutes up, you can't get a husband still?
They still not looking for you.
That's a crazy failure. But you hear it, like, it's from a place of hurt. That's where all of these people come from. That's where all this shit is projected from. It doesn't make it okay or whatever. It's just, that's the pathology that I've seen.
Pearl grew up in luxury, enjoying a lavish childhood. But let's fast forward to the year 2020. Pearl's content takes a turn. She began expressing controversial views, claiming that men built society alone, and arguing against the concept of gender equality.
Girl, what the shit that's what I'm saying. The shit that comes out of your mouth. You don't literally just say whatever. What? Are you gonna
Look at Brittany go.
Because honestly, you're delusional.
Brittany.
No, it's not. Don't Brittany. Go ahead.
Brittany, look, if you're gonna yell at me, I'm not gonna do the show. Like you don't have to. You don't have to scream at me. That's so disrespectful. You know, I'm not here to get like that's like you don't have to be rude. I don't.
Today I bring you guys content that saddens yet dismays me, but I would have been lying to you if I said that I did not see this coming.
And it's at 6:43 p.m. Okay? This is when she claims, I don't know why I got a YouTube strike. I don't know why not YouTube strike. I don't know why I got demonetized. Well, let's look at this complaint here that was sent from a young lady who was complaining to YouTube about the exploitation of her sister and how nothing was done for this and nothing is done to this.
Well.
Well. Look where we are now. Guys, do you see that super chat button? What up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Pearl Daily. You know, I want to start the show by saying I consider myself an honest and transparent person. And since I started this YouTube journey, you guys have watched me go through the ups and the downs, the victories and the losses. And I got demonetized a year and a half ago, and it's been very, very hard. As you guys know, I talked about how this was my only source of income, was YouTube. So basically, they've kept me unemployed for a year and a half. And I've been having to figure it out ever since. I had to let go of most of my staff. I had to move home. And I had to really reflect on whether media was something I could do the rest of my life. You know, I had 1 million hit pieces made on me. I had, as you guys saw, I had people attack my personal life, my family, harass my family, and it just got insane. And I did a coffee talk about how I was going to make the best of the situation. I decided I was going to make a website and an app so they could never do this to me again. They could take away my YouTube money, but I never wanted to be in this situation again. I wanted to cultivate my own community and really find out if people believed in me and what I'm doing. And I want to thank all of you for supporting me so far. If you're a member on my website, the link is in the description, theaudacitynetwork.com. I want to say a special thank you to all of you because I am officially, as of yesterday, remonetized on YouTube. So I want to say suck it. You know, and I have a whole suck it. I have a whole suck it list. But I'm going to get to that. But before I get to them, I want to first give my thank yous. I want to first thank you guys, my fans. I couldn't have done this without you. It's been a tough year and a half. Your likes, comments, and membership signups have meant the world to me. I read all of them. I don't know, I can't always reply to them all, but I do read them all. And I am blown away by how much you guys have supported me over the years. The second thank you I want to give out to is my father. My dad, a couple of years ago, I told him I wanted to be a YouTuber. And my dad, my whole life, has said, I don't care if you want to sell toothpicks on the side of the road. Do what you're passionate about and follow it. Because you're going to work harder at it than everybody else. And he encouraged me to quit my sales job to pursue a volleyball career. And he encouraged me to quit my volleyball career to pursue a YouTube career. And my father knows nothing about social media. He doesn't really understand this world, but he really supported me. And when I got demonetized, he built me this room. He built me this room. And when I wanted to give up, he said, don't give up. There's always a way. You can figure this out. So we built an app. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a community on the app. And starting next month, which this price is going to go up. I know I keep saying this to you guys, but I mean it. The price is going to go up. Me and Shiv, I think you guys saw him on last week. We're creating an online curriculum. But next month, everyone's going to give presentations on different things. And next week, I'm going to show you guys how you can make money as a YouTuber. Or even if you're a behind the scenes guy, I'm going to show you guys how you can make money selling clips to YouTubers. So the profit margins are actually insane if you guys can figure out how to do it. You don't even need to know how to edit. You just have to be able to know what to look for and direct your editors. So if you guys want to learn how to do that, Tuesday next, the first week of April, that's going to be on. But back to the point. Thank you. And by the way, the price is going to go up. So it's $10 a month, $100 a year now, but it's going to go up. And I'm warning you guys. But my father, and to be honest, guys, when I left England, I was really, I don't want to say I was pretty depressed. I mean, it was pretty crappy. I mean, I felt like a total failure. You know, my network failed. I ran out of money. I really felt like a failure. There was like a million. I mean, my Google search of my name was like anti-Semite, racist. And I was thinking I'm totally unemployable now. Wasn't actually true, and I just said, my dad said, no, think of a solution. There's a solution. And we built an app, we made a website, and seriously, they will never do this to me again. Thank you, YouTube, for letting me back in, but you guys, even if I get kicked out again, you'll never do this to me again. Ever. So next, I want to thank my family, my boyfriend for being so supportive of me. I want to thank my friends. It's been a really tough year, so and I thank you to the fans for everything. You guys are amazing. So I also had to stop the panel shows because those were expensive. I mean, do you guys know how expensive it is to get 10 women in a studio? So thank you guys again so much. Now next, I want to announce that Pearl, yes, this Pearl, the Pearl everyone thought was done, the Pearl that everyone shit on for the past year and a half, the Pearl that everyone thought would tuck her tail between her legs and quit. I've been monetized on YouTube. That's right, I've been monetized again. I put in my application back in October of 2024 and I finally got a response. Thank you to the people at YouTube for letting me back into the partnership program. It's good to know that they have reviewed my content and see its value. So this show is going to be to the haters that thought I was done. All of the people that made fun of me when I got demonetized, this Pearl Daily is for you. So where to start? I drew up a very in-depth whiteboard video just to show you guys what's going on. I turned this on, right? Oh, is this dead? Well, how do I do it? Can I do it still or what? Oh, I can't. I guess you can just move it to the screen. So the first thing I gotta say is, you have a camera there? Yeah. Okay. Eat it. Yup. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Eat it, Abba and Preach. Eat it, Ethan Klein. Eat it, Hassan Piker. Eat it, Destiny. Eat it, MTR. Eat it, Sarah Garvey. Eat it, all of my enemies. Eat it. Eat it, eat it, eat it. Because guess what, bitches? I'm back. I am back. Now you might think, Pearl, it's time to just be gracious. Don't rub it in their faces. But I'm a woman. I am a woman. Okay, so let's start off first. We got Destiny. Now, let's do a progress report on Destiny. Now, Destiny first. Why is this glitching? Okay. Destiny first said this about me.
No jumper.
Let's go to 43 minutes.
Different hoods. They go by prison cut. Wow.
Okay, all right. We ask him stuff and he just like pivots to like what other people in his life think.
That's what they're gonna do. Yeah. You know?
Oh, I mean, we're not denying anybody the right to be religious.
No, I mean, but that's how it is.
It just says different people roll with different shit. That's cool.
Yeah, they go to Muslim cut. That's them. It's 5 each its own.
Do you think your girl would be mad if you fucked just Pearly things?
Me?
Yeah.
One, that's a rude question. That's a rude question.
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
What happened to Pearly though, man? Like she had like
yeah, you wish. You wish, idiots.
A very
I don't fuck pussies. Sorry. Like, come on, you guys wish.
like rising star trajectory. And then she just like started talking to like more people, and then they just
here's the two issues with just
I want to guys tell you a story. Do you know what I'm going to tell you this story after?
Pearly things. Okay, one is her growth was never as explosive as people thought it was. She hardcore gamed the shorts algorithm. Okay, like that 1.5 million subs.
So I want to tell you guys a funny story. So when Destiny was in London, this man right there, Destiny, I took him out and out to dinner with like the staff. It was like a group of people. And he brought like a girlfriend or some girl that was there. I don't know. And it amazes me, actually. Destiny's roster is like way hotter than you'd think. I was amazed. I was like, I can't believe. Whatever. So we take him out to dinner. And he's like making fun of me. He's like, Pearl, you're so dumb, da-da-da-da-da. And I looked at him and I said, well, for someone so stupid, I did what took you 10 years. I did it in 1.5 years. And his date started laughing. I said, for someone so stupid, someone so dumb, I lapped you in 1 year. So this is, he started it. Now this is, now this is him coping. This is the cope. Now, to be fair, I did get stagnated when my channel got demonetized. YouTube kills you in the algorithm. On top of that, I had to delete. I had 1 billion views on my channel I had to delete. I was getting thousands of subscribers from my old videos every month, and I had to delete 10,000 videos. Do you guys know what that did to my soul?
Just like 200,000 subs, right?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Because if you look at her long form content, she struggles to get like, I think 150,000 views on a video.
Now this was a cope, and I'm going to tell you why it was a cope. Because we posted at one point 25 times in a day. So, okay, if you post one video, it gets 100,000 views. And I post 20 and they get less views, but I get 200 like per video, but I get 200,000 in a day. I get 100 million views a month and at the time, before YouTube stifled me. Who's winning? Who's winning? Now, obviously, I've been losing the last year because, you know, the demonetization. Yeah, I had to delete 10,000 videos. Yeah.
With like over 1.5 million subs on the channel. Yeah. So that's the first up. Secondly, she was growing in kind of the pocket of all of that red pill stuff exploding. And now people have kind of, you know, let the air out of the tire a little bit, and it's kind of deflating a bit. And so she's like,
the red pill will never die. And guess what? He proved the red pill, but I'm going to get to it.
Blew up on these shorts, and then she's kind of like drifting here, and then all the other
SIMPING. Stop simping.
The red pill stuff is kind of like whatever, and she's just kind of like, ooh, because she, in my opinion, not to be mean or rude to her, I don't know if she offers much in terms of her individual.
Okay, let me get this straight. I don't offer much. Okay, sure. I mean, what can you offer? You can offer a course on how to get cucked. I mean, how to have an open marriage, how to Google things. Like, what is his area of expertise? Googling? I mean, do you guys know how to use Wikipedia? Do you know what I mean?
Individuality that people would want to stick around for, right? Like, as much as I might not like their beliefs, I could understand why people would watch like Myron. I know why people watch Fresh. I know why people watch Andrew Tate.
Well, they have an enduring fan base.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like even as individuals, even people like Rolo and stuff, I can understand why people are fans of those people.
He got very hurt by that comment. He really did. I'm telling you, his girlfriend was laughing so hard because he was being so rude to me for no reason. And then I made that comment and he shut up real quick.
But how many people are fans of Pearl?
But do you think that's why Pearl has pivoted to saying like the most misogynistic things possible?
Yeah. I mean, this is like the CEO of getting cucked at this table.
On Twitter?
I think she half believes it too. She's got a lot of dumb
No way she believes it, bro. No, listen, she's pandering, right?
I mean, she spent her whole time talking to these people that believe that like women are trying to divorce all men and blah, blah. It wouldn't surprise me if she believed it.
Now let's check back in on Destiny. Let's look at the progress report. Destiny got divorced
and his wife left him for some crazy they-them person. Now, I understand it's not always in your control if you get left. But if you're going to get left, don't you want to get left for somebody bad? Do you know what I mean? Like Ashley St. Clair, her first baby daddy, when he got left for Elon Musk, he could kind of understand, right? I mean, that's understandable. I mean, you could at least look at the chessboard and say, okay, that makes sense. But you got left for a they-them. Myron's in a happy relationship. I'm in a happy relationship. And Destiny is being sued for revenge porn by multiple women because he was dumb enough to share their naked pictures with strangers online. Destiny caught a case. Destiny proved what we all have been talking about. Destiny found that despite all of his attempt to not be one, he is a man. You run in circles with crazy liberal women on all sorts of medication with all sorts of mental health issues. You end up exactly where Destiny is. Let's just say this clip didn't age well. Who would you rather be? Me or Destiny? I'm just saying, one has a court case. One's remonetized on YouTube. And by the way, guys, I'm going to make so much content now. Me and my producer, he's going to be like, Pearl, let me go home, please. And I'm going to be like, no, one more reaction. One more. We're all getting paid today. Okay, next we have Brittany Renner. Now, you guys might remember me walking off on this show. Now, I did this show this summer. And do you know what? The desperation, I don't want to say the things you accept when you're demonetized is amazing. This show didn't pay me either. I made the mistake of assuming because it was a professional company, anyone that works there, they're not going to pay you. I want you to know. This show failed and they also didn't pay us. So I did get ripped off for this appearance. Oh my gosh. So let's check in with Brittany Renner, another one of my nemesises.
We're moving right along to a segment called Panel Pull Out. Pull Out. I see what we did.
We're going to do the second half because... Oh, wait, no. Look at the choices we make, Something about female intuition. I'm sorry. I'm starting it over.
A segment called Panel Pull Out. Pull out. I see what we did there. So each host will pull something from the internet or socials that they would like to address with that specific host. Sounds a little messy. We're gonna start with Pearl.
Sounds so messy.
We're gonna start with Pearl.
I'm first?
Yes. I mean, at first, yeah.
Okay, so I saw something that you retweeted, Brittany. And it was something about it was something about female intuition.
Okay.
And I just don't think female intuition exists. I think female intuition is terrible.
I think it's terrible in what way?
We make terrible choices as women. So people will always say,
by the way, all of these women were walking embodiments of terrible choices. All of them have been in the room with NBA, like millionaire men, very, very wealthy men. And none of them took home a W. None.
My female intuition, I knew because of my female intuition. And yeah, I don't think it's really a thing.
Well, intuition, just simply put, is heightened awareness. And so it stems from when women were at home with children and had to be tuned into what was going on. So intuition doesn't just stop at children, it's across the board. So if you aren't tuned into your intuition, that's a you thing.
No. I just look at the choices we make,
We or you?
We as women. I mean, look at
I'm going to be honest, pretty good ones. No abortions, no single motherhood, No crazy scandals. All the things I get into is Pearl said something I don't like. Where is the super bad decision?
What kind of choices do you make?
Okay, what kind of choices do you make, Brittany?
But you're the one we're talking. You're saying that females don't make good choices.
Well,
so
look, we own the majority. I have no debt, right? But women in general.
That's because you're from a rich family, girl. Congratulations, girl. You're from a rich family, so what are you talking about? No debt, girl.
Women in general have a
congratulations. Like you don't get a fish don't get applauded for swimming.
I'm lucky. That's why I said I'm lucky.
Okay, so for you, so why lead with that? So why lead with that? So why lead with that?
For an example, and I'm going to give it to you.
It's like this bitch was like, give me an example. And I'm like, here's an example. And she's like, I'm like, bitch, why did you ask me for an example if you don't want the example? But she's like, well, and I was trying to say women in general, right? And then she's like, well, what about you? And I'm like, well, because if I said, she's like, give me an example. And I'm like, women own the majority of the debt. Well, what about you? Well, I don't have debt. Why, bitch, why are you asking me questions you don't want the answers to?
Do you want me to start?
That's what it's like having a girlfriend. Why do you think I'm black-pilled now?
Okay. Let me tell you what
let's talk about
what we're not going to do, because you have a history of doing this, because I'm familiar with you, okay? Girl, what you like to do is you like to say these really stupid fucking comments, right? And then so what you do, then you like sit back and then you're like, you think you're so smart, you have this fucking smug ass look on your face, and then you're waiting for someone to give you that like emotional, like passionate response. So then you can sit there and be super dismissive and really kind of just gaslight. And I don't know, as a female.
Gaslight?
No. Yeah, do you know what that word means?
You guys use it for everything.
You guys.
Go ahead.
Okay, you know what's funny about using you guys is seriously, it kind of feels like the only thing that is actually feminine about you is that you have a vagina.
Okay.
Because I feel like, there's like a man on the panel.
Okay, and what's feminine about you, Brittany?
Everything is feminine about me.
Oh, come on. I'm not trying to go personal.
All right, it's saying we can't super chat today. YouTube, why? I know I'm monetized. Why?
So I don't know why you're trying to make this personal.
No, you made it personal when you led with, hey, I don't have any debt.
I don't know.
Do you see this? I'm like, you asked, bitch. Why are you asking? All right, hold on. Let me see if I can fix the super chat thing. It should be good now.
That's a flex because your parents have money.
You asked.
What have you actually earned for yourself?
Brittany, you asked me. I'm saying in general, women own the majority of debt. We don't make great choices. Girl. If we look at who we pick, let's look at romantic decisions. Women don't.
And I didn't want to get personal, but I could have. That's all I'll say. How many baby mamas did we have on the panel? How many Me Too cases? Girl on the left, Me Too Trey Songz. Brittany Renner, baby mother. Expected a NBA player to stay faithful. What kind of delusional bullshit is that? Go marry an accountant, ladies. Accountants are available.
Make very good romantic decisions in general.
There's a point that needs to be made, though, and that's the fact that what I heard Brittany say earlier was she's talking about people who have there's a deep heightened intuition, and I think where the conversation is splitting is the fact that you're actually talking about people who don't have that, who have it turned off, who are disconnected.
Okay, the super chats are back. The Harpoon Gang is back in business, says Doug MPA. Steve M, congrats. Thank you. Fredico, congrats. Meduta, it works first. I'm sorry, you were not first. Douglas, another $5. Thank you guys so much. And I'm going to check on the website too.
Like her. From their intuition, who don't make poor decisions. We make poor decisions. Like when we actually go down to the root of why it is that we make these poor decisions, there's layers and layers and layers and layers to it. And more of it is going to come from just like the science and backing Jonathan, that you kind of put into collective bundles that ultimately just come from who?
Like, this girl was in a court case with Trey Songz. I mean...
The white man that you were raised by.
Girl, of all your interviews, only Pierce Morgan showed respect. The rest treated you like trash. And the worst part, you played nice when you could have gone full throttle, firing all 12 cylinders. Pearl, you are such a monster. I know. Pearl, it looked like low light reel because of cognitive dissonance. Pearl, congrats. We're remonetized from DM. Pearl, I still want to see your dad on this channel. Make it happen. I think in 6 months I can do it. You guys are lucky you're in the chat on the website. Now I'm telling you guys, the wealthy men and the intelligent, smart, non-famous men I'm going to bring on this channel can change your life. I'm telling you. And right now it's only $100 a year, but it's going to be like $2,000 or I don't know. I don't know the exact number, but I'm telling you guys ballparks. It depends how much we pay the salespeople because we're going to have a sales staff. But this is not going to be cheap. And I'm saying this because I want you guys to get in now, the OG supporters. And I'll honor these memberships, but yeah.
So when it comes, so when
I'm reading that she doesn't have any debt.
I'm just saying. There's a certain level of understanding that's not.
Oh, congrats. However, move with caution. Crowder was remonetized on YouTube. Admitted later it was a glitch, and they took it right back away. Ben, do you know what? I made sure I got an email from my YouTube rep before I did my celebratory stuff. Fazelle, congrats on getting remonetized. Time to celebrate. Are we throwing a gathering party soon? Let's make it happen. Name the time and place, and we'll bring the right people together. Pearl, what did you think of your fish tank experience? Could you put the footage of you on there up on the Audacity network? Doug MPA, can you make a note of that? Thank you.
You asked for
so that's not you making a decision. That's you.
This was my biggest mistake right there. I kept saying you asked for an example. I was trying to negotiate with crazy women.
Being born into white privilege, and we need you to acknowledge that. So that's not a decision that you made. That is the way you came into this. And honestly,
do you know what? I never got more hate from women for two things. One, having a father. Two, a father. And coming from a good family. That is the #1 hatred that I have received from women. Thank you for the super chats. We got Joel just testing the super chat. Thank you. We back, Shad Duck. This is Shaw. Congrats on remonetization.
Girl, you're a family of like 9 or 10. Like all that's how your dad set you up. So there are things that you
yeah, and are you jealous? It's like these women, they don't have a dad, so they want you to not have one. Like, don't you want a dad that helps you out in your time of need? I'm not saying a simp dad. My dad is not a simp. My dad is the best man on the planet. He's so amazing. But it's like, they're like, oh, your dad helped you. Sorry your mom couldn't keep your dads around. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. That's not my fault. My parents are still together. Like, what did I do?
Genuinely did not have to experience. Right. You don't fucking know. You get to sit there again.
You were in a room with some of the richest men on the planet, and you couldn't figure out how to get one to commit to you. I think she said her body count was like 40 on a show, and that's admitted. You had at least 40 tries. I understand, sometimes you get pumped and dumped. It's just an L. It's just an L. You wanted commitment. He wanted it. He wanted one, he won, you lost. Eat that L. Move on. But 40, there had to be one in there that maybe would have settled down, right?
So you don't even have to make any decisions. You're the same person. You are the same person that the last time I saw you accidentally, no, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. And you get to go. You're the same person who accidentally spent $50,000 and your dad was able to pay it off on your credit card.
Do you know what? When she said this, I was so confused. Because my credit card limit is like 15 grand, which I think is high for a credit card. I don't know. But I'm like, who can spend 50 grand on a credit card? And I would be honest with you guys if I actually did that. But I was like, 50 grand? What on earth?
Yes, you did when you
I didn't actually
You're the one who said an accident. I spent.
But this is what they do. They make stuff up, or they take something completely out of context. Do you know what I think it was? When I was in England, I didn't have 6 months rent to give them in advance, and I didn't have credit in England. I don't know if I should explain this. I probably don't need to, but whatever. And my dad just let me pay him 1 month at a time like it was normal. And he did the 6. But I'm like, Doug MPA is going to say, you don't need to explain but I was just so confused. I'm like, which is a little different than these hoes, man. These hoes.
Over my limit.
It's weird that she would even know that. I was so confused. I was like, that's what I kept saying. I'm like, 50 grand on a credit card? What? And I was making good money. I could have afforded that at the time.
You said, so again, an unreal, that's what you
I do. I'd have no debt.
said. That's what you said. The last time that I saw you. Yeah. So again, we're going back to
GFY is a network that didn't pay me. They owe me. They owe me like $5 grand, and they never paid me. It was just an L.
Girl, what the shit that comes? That's what I'm saying. The shit that comes out of your mouth. You literally just say whatever.
What are you? Why are you getting so mad over?
Because honestly, you're fucking delusional.
Brittany.
Don't Brittany. Go ahead.
Brittany, I do think there's one thing. I think there's one thing that we have to say. If you're gonna yell at me, I'm not gonna do the show. Like you don't have to. You don't have to scream at me. That's so disrespectful. You know, I'm not here to get like that's like you don't have to be rude. I don't.
What crazy women. Do you know what? In that moment, I said, my sanity is not worth this shit. I am not doing these panel shows anymore. That was my rock bottom. You know, my rock bottom was that show. Their rock bottom was getting pregnant by a baby daddy who left them, doesn't like them, and won't give them money because they're so insufferable. Yup. Is there an app for the Audacity Network? Yes, there is, Luke. Thank you so much for asking. Blessing! Oh, I miss you, Blessing. Blessings in the chat. Blessings in, where are you right now, Blessing? Where are you? I miss you. Blessing was my producer in London, but unfortunately, he had to stay there because of visa problems. So, but great guy, great person. We love Blessing here. And thank you for the congrats, Blessing. I hope you're doing well. Can I tell them the $500 story? Because it's really funny. I won't. I'll get a yes in the chat. But I think with your current situation now, I think it's kind of funny, but I won't. Because his situation's great now. God is good, well-deserved, sue them. Do you know what? This lawsuit, the reason I don't want to go to court over it is I don't want to spend the time. Like, by the time I go chase after that $5 grand, it's like, it would take me, the amount of time I would spend, I could have made another $5 grand. The king of DIY, W Pearl for walking off. Rudiz says $1 super chat. Let me see what he said. Okay, well, text me, Blessing, and if I could tell the story, I think it's very funny. I really would love to tell it because it's very hilarious. Then, okay, next we got up. So let's see what's happened with Brittany. Her podcast failed. She's an angry baby mama. She did not Google the state she tried to gold dig in. And guess what? She got pregnant by an NBA superstar in a state that has a cap on child support. Imagine going through the work of getting pregnant by a NBA superstar and not Googling, doing all the hard part. Not Googling the child support law and getting $2,500 a month from a guy that's making hundreds of millions of dollars. Oh, that's so funny. John, $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Love what you do. Please keep teaching the women and enlightening them. Thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. So on top of that, now she's trying to be Muslim. So you guys know that we have to do the rebrand. Okay, I can tell the story, Blessing said. Okay, I'm going to tell the story. Now, I'm going to ask the question, who's in a better spot now? My enemies? One's a baby mother. One is catching a case. Or me, no major scandal. Do you know what my major scandal is? My major scandal. Everyone crucifies me for an ex-boyfriend. That's my major scandal, is that I dated someone and it didn't work out. No kids, no false accusations, no court cases. That's my scandal. But now let me talk about Blessing. Now, my boyfriend the other day, he had a tweet and it said that in the past, he's often gotten more respect from his female bosses than his the girls he was dating at the time. And I think this is a sentiment that a lot of men kind of feel, right? I think oftentimes as a female boss, you see how, because obviously if you work for me, if you're still here, like you're awesome, right? So we see the men at their best in a way, because you see them doing something good, you see them being useful, you almost see them in a different life than their wives or their girlfriends do. Like, I don't know what it is about wives and girlfriends, but they think men are just like doing nothing at work and like having a good time. Do you know what I mean? They don't realize that you're actually like working. But when you're a female boss, it's like, and Blessing, I'll tell you the story of how I met Blessing in London. So I had one producer and he kept this producer, I kept asking him to do certain things and he couldn't figure it out. And I'm like useless with equipment. So if you can't figure it out, like it's just not going to get done. And so then basically Blessing would come and help this guy out. He trained this guy. And long story short, basically the guy, like, he was asking me to pay Blessing to train him. And I got to be honest, as a boss, and Blessing was driving like 3 hours across England to like help train this guy for free. And he was like, well, I can't ask him to come all the time because I got to be honest. He made it a little too easy. I was like, well, I'm going to have to cut out the middleman here. That's how he got a job. Now, anyway, so Blessing at the time, he was like dating this woman. And they were breaking up, or they were like going through like the breakup phase, right? And Blessing, he was my employee, but he's also a friend of mine. You know, Blessing's a great guy. And when they were breaking up, he says, I don't want to say what, because I don't want to like, she said something really disrespectful and he showed me. And I just couldn't believe she said that. And I got to be honest, Blessing at the time was doing, I don't want to air him out, but he was doing a little bit of, he said I could tell this story, but I'm trying to be respectful. He was simping. I'll just say that. He was simping. He was trying to get this girl back. And I look at him and I say, Blessing, I will give you $500 to never talk to this woman again. Because I couldn't take it. Because I'm like, you're a good producer. You're a good person. You're very good at music. Like, why are you accepting that? Like, and that's how I think a lot of sisters feel. And I mean, bosses, I mean, you don't always know, but that was a different environment. I mean, this was like a party house. This was a different type of work environment. So everyone was kind of friends, you know, and I just couldn't, I'm like, why are you accepting this? And so I'm like, Blessing, please. If you dump her now and just say, okay, and break it off with her. Well, lo and behold, he dumps her, right? Now this girl starts begging for him back. She starts, and Blessing, then he holds his ground. And do you know what? Yeah, I know. I paid him to stop simping. I hate simping. God, I hate it. Oh my God. Especially when it's like a guy you care about, where it's like your brother or your father or your uncle. You're just like, why do you accept these things? Like, because when you're a woman that sees a man at his best, you just can't understand why he accepts nothing, you know? And I'll tell you what, guys, now he's engaged to another woman who's way hotter. Fast forward a year and a half later. Who has $500? At the time, I was making good money. I did have $500. I'm not saying it was. Do you know what? That was a good $500 spent. But did I simp a little bit to stop the simping? I don't know. But I was like, so Blessing's, engaged, and Blessing, I should get a shout out at this wedding. Maybe you'd still be simping for a 4, 5. She wasn't that bad, actually. She was cute. Sorry. I'm not gonna. Pearl is a legend for that. Yeah. I had to save him. I knew he could do better. That's the worst part. Now he's with and this new girl, I knew I liked her. It's the same girl, right? I don't want to hype it up if it's an ex, because it's been some time. I'm assuming it's the same woman. But I just got better vibes from the next one. Yeah, Blessing, if it's someone else, my producer now, you better not come in and say you're simping to try to get $500 out of me. It's like my employees come in and they like start telling me simp story. I'm kidding. I'm assuming it's the same girl. I'm assuming. Pearl saving simps. I have to. Now this new girl, she was smart. I thought she was better looking. She was thinner. He showed me her picture and I'm like, okay, she's got a good background, 2 parents, she's thinner. Now, by the way, as you guys know, she's prettier. I'm like, see, you didn't have to simp for that old one. Yeah, it was a simpervention. It was like a Have you guys ever done a simpervention? Please let me know in the comments if you've ever been simping, and then a woman. It's got to be I think women, because men are less opinionated and egotistical. So in that situation, I felt like I knew best. Men are much less sure of themselves, so they don't really stop other men from simping because they're like, I don't know the ins and outs of that relationship. I don't want to get involved. But I think the best people that do simp interventions are women, because we think we know everything. And so in this situation, I'm like, I know best. Blessing, I was like, Blessing, this woman is overweight. She's overweight. You cannot simp for an overweight woman. If you guys are gonna simp, she needs to be in shape. I don't care if she's curvy. I know how the African men like it. Okay, he is Zimbabwean, but now he's got this hot Zimbabwean thing. You know what I mean? And I liked her immediately. I don't know. I've never met her, but I just got better vibes. Now that it's worked out, should he pay me back the money? $500 super chat right now, Blessing. Now, I'd like to say, I have no idea if this will work out. Obviously, I've covered the worst of stories, but at least if you get screwed over by a hot woman, you could say at least she was hot. That's at least understandable. I should do a simp rescue show. I should. Okay, let me read these super chats. Thank you guys so much. It'd be cool if I don't want to ask for too much, but I did pay Blessing that $500, so maybe someone in the chat could pay me back now that I'm in a time of dire need. Why can't I see the super chats anymore? Okay, I might have to pull them up at the end of the show and go to a different part. Okay, so the next... Oh, can you play one of the tracks for us when you finish up? And are you ever down for music collaborations? I am down, but we're trying to get this studio built in studio so we can make the music here and I don't have to pay these producers an arm and a leg. My producer now is a rapper. I found out the other day he's a rapper, so he does these rap tracks. So maybe there'll be a collab. Who knows? Okay, so next on the... Now this woman, this crazy woman, made a 17... This is Brittany Venti. She made a 17-minute video talking about how I ruined my career.
You're going to say, why do you keep talking about the world's most desperate YouTuber? Why am I talking about a YouTuber who is so irrelevant that she doesn't even pop up when you type her channel name and you got to scroll all the way down just to see it? Well, I didn't want to make another video on this, as entertaining as the past videos were, but the reason I'm talking about her once again isn't just for entertainment value or to put a pretty little bow to wrap up the series of videos I made on her. It's actually to talk about the very important reason for why her whole channel got demonetized. The reason that we are gathered here today.
Oh, thank you to the people that signed up. So now all these bitches were bitching. I went and built an app. Okay, I paid someone to make it. I did not make that myself. I went out and I said, you know what? And all these women, all they do is criticize. That's what these reaction channels are. They just criticize. And they could not hold their own in a debate with me. They would just start balking. That's what they would do. Thank you to Frederick for signing up. Prax says, you got demonetized because you interviewed... Who's PE? I don't know who that is. Who the heck is PE? It's not Nick. Pearl envy is a serious disease. I mean, I would hate me too if I were them. I mean, these women are losers. I mean, let me get this straight. Oh my God. I was about to... I've taken L's. Don't get me wrong. I have taken L's in my career. But I bounced back. This woman, she drove her ex-boyfriend to the point of a mental breakdown where he was crying on camera and she was videotaping it. I didn't do that. Okay, now we got Sean. Thank you for signing up. We got Glenn. Thank you for signing up. We got Jonathan. We got Frederick. We got Luke, yearly subscription. Emesto, monthly subscription. Thank you guys very much.
To remember Just Pearly Things' YouTube channel is because she got demonetized for being a predator. And that is one hell of a way.
Now, this is what they throw. Women throw pedophile at everything. I swear to God. You guys have ruined real victims. You guys have. They throw it at everything.
To end this series or this arc on Pearl. So it says here she was demonetized for harmful or hateful conduct. I'm honestly surprised that she didn't get demonetized sooner for saying women shouldn't vote, but I pretty much expected this to happen, and it did. But I don't think that's the sole reason that she lost her monetization. Even though it says that she was banned for harmful or hateful conduct, there was something that led up to the ban, which was an interview that she did.
You remember what happened with Drake? Think about it, right? Do you really think he didn't think to wrap it up with the, I'm gonna say, corn star? He's a player, right? He knows she's a corn star. He probably did. She probably stole it.
What age do you guys think it's appropriate to talk about the morality of stealing a rapper's cum? According to Pearl Davis, who thinks that 16-year-olds are, quote, hotter than 26.
See, all right, that was a troll. That was very obvious. This is the thing. You can't joke with women. They take everything so literally. They take everything. But I'm going to explain what happened in that interview, too. I'm going to explain it. Because all these hoes, all they do is they just call me a predator. They say, Pearl's a pedo. They throw it at anything. It's the same thing they do to men in court. I swear, if they can throw rapist or predator, they will. What evil women. These are evil women.
6-year-olds. Apparently, that age is 15. She not only asked the girls about stealing out of a condom, but she also asked them about various other topics such as abortion, asking them the morality of a man.
Now remember, this was a sign on the street that people came up to. There was a sign on the street and people came up if they wanted to talk to me. I didn't turn down anybody that wanted to have a conversation. So what happened was, hold on.
And going to get milk and never coming back.
If let's say I have a man, I know it's shocking, but let's say, and I get pregnant on accident, right? So neither of us planned this. We didn't.
And so she's doing this intention. Okay, so this evil woman, Brittany Venti, she makes a 17-minute video. Evil, right? A 17-minute video celebrating my demonetization. Now, let me go through some of her internet lore. This woman has nudes on the internet. Everyone knows she has nudes on the internet. On 4chan, when women would come into the space, they would say tits or get the F out. And she chose tits. Now, look, I'm not even saying that you're wrong for choosing to post your nudes on the internet. But so what she does is she says, oh, there's these fake nudes going around to divert attention from the fact that they're real nudes. She drove her ex-boyfriend insane. To the point that she was recording him having a mental breakdown. She lived in an apartment full of cockroaches. She now has a failed engagement that she left for her ex-boyfriend. And I'm stronger than ever. They're saying in the chat she was hooking up with Destiny. I don't know if that's true or not. And she's a total catfish. She did a 20-minute video calling me ugly when her no makeup pictures are disgusting. And what they'll do is they'll say, those no makeup pictures, that's not what I actually look like. They're photoshopped and edited. No, you're not famous enough for anybody to edit shit. Okay. Next up, we got ABBA and Preach. They said the end a year ago.
We could get deleted too.
100%.
Think before you sleep. That is the failed engagement.
There's nothing that I've seen from YouTube or the way it operates that makes me think that we're guaranteed a place on this platform. It just takes the one wrong video and all of a sudden they're looking through the history and be like, all right, that's enough justification. Get rid of these guys, right? Just probably things got demonetized. Why did she get demonetized? According to the manual review, it says your channel is not currently able to learn. After reviewing your channel using a combination of automated systems and human reviewers, we found that it does not follow YouTube's channel monetization policies for harmful or hateful content. Apparently, someone was yelling that Just Pearly Things stopped her 50-year-old sister in the street and her school friends to ask them invasive questions about bedroom fun on her YouTube channel. She made several cuts of the video and subjected them to abuse from the Red Pill community.
I don't think women should vote. Huh? I don't think women should vote.
I denounce. I totally don't think that anymore. I denounce that. Yep. Denounce. Let's see.
Like, listen, kid in the attic.
So whatever. They make it a 12-minute video on me. They said the end. They said Pearl's done. And do you know what? ABBA and Preach have proven that they're complete snakes. They have zero integrity. They snaked their best friend Destiny. They Me Too'd Myron. And how many old videos have you seen of ABBA collaborating with Destiny? They were good friends at one point. Then the allegations came out. And where was ABBA to defend their friend? Nowhere to be seen. Then Myron had those allegations. ABBA and Preach were the first ones to sell them out. Then they tried to backtrack it later but the initial headlines are always seen more than the retraction. What Abba and Preach did was Myron was basically flying a girl out, and she was going to go on the show, but also hook up with him. Like it was a romantic thing, or he wanted to like hook up or be more than friends, right? And she was trying to say, oh, maybe I could come on the show. And he was being clear with what it was. You know, and sometimes you date people that come on the show. That's not that abnormal in the YouTube community, right? I mean, YouTubers date all the time. And so the way that they tried to spin it, and Abba and Preach pushed this narrative, was that Myron was requiring women to sleep with him to come on the show. And that's completely dishonest. So what Abba has proven to be is a guy with no integrity, who will even sell out his best friend. What a piece of shit person. Piece of shit person. Terrible. Next, we got Hassan Piker. Oh, wait, not this one.
If women's jobs disappeared tomorrow, society would probably be fine. But if men's jobs disappeared tomorrow, it would be rough out there.
Areas most dominated by men, CEOs. Areas most dominated by women, nurses and teachers. Tell me, who's more valuable to society, CEOs or teachers and nurses?
What an idiot. This is the problem. Guys that have never done hard labor jobs, they just become women.
I've always wondered like if this is a grift or not, because like her heart's not in it. Like she's not saying this shit with her chest ever. She's always like, men built the world, I think. Like, I don't know. And I can't tell if it's because she's like fucking barred out the entire time or if she's just like really fucking stupid. I mean, this assessment is always going to be a timeless one. It's that like, if you're a lady.
Let me get this straight. You've never had a real job. And you say, eat the rich from your $4 million mansion.
Okay. Online and you have no fucking personality. You can't make it by being cool or having like a cool skill set. You can always hit.
What cool? You are a reaction channel. You're a streamer. The audacity of a streamer. Does he think he has a cool personality?
Hit that fucking grift button. You can always be a conservative. They are so fucking desperate for anyone to.
You guys have trans people.
Present their psychotic, twisted, broken worldview. You don't have to have anything. You just need to say the word. You don't have to be charismatic, funny, smart, well thought out. All you need to do is just say the fucking.
Make Rumble videos. Yeah, when Rumble starts paying like YouTube, I'll consider it. But everyone's like, oh, go to Rumble. What, for charity? Pay me. No, respectfully, pay me.
Words.
If women's okay. So how is that working out for Hassan? He got banned from Twitch after urging viewers to kill a Florida senator. Turkish streamer and political commentator Hassan Piker was banned from streaming platform Twitch Monday after he made threats directed at Rick Scott, Republican in Florida. Video circulating on social media shows the streamer urging viewers to kill Rick Scott during a live stream. Piker in the clip accused Senator Scott of committing the largest Medicare fraud in history.
No, look, the White House has made a commitment. The president said over and over and over, we're not going to touch Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. We've made the same commitment. Now, that said, what we are going to do is go into those programs and carve out the fraud, waste, and abuse and find efficiencies. Couple of examples. You know, there's about $50 billion estimated that are lost every year in Medicaid just in fraud alone. No.
That fraud is not coming from individuals. It's coming from providers. They're not tackling providers. They're not actually going after like false billing. They are trying to cut recipients. Okay. It is not happening at the point of recipients. If you cared about Medicare fraud or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott. Okay. You wouldn't make Rick Scott, former governor of Florida, Rick Scott. You wouldn't make him the current, what is his current office? What is he? He's
Thank you, Dijon, for the super chat. I appreciate you.
Lynn Scott is an American attorney, businessman, politician, Navy veteran, serving as the senior United States Senator from Florida, a seat he has held since 2019. And also, I believe this past election cycle, he was literally the head of the what was it, like the Senate committee or something, like the Republican fundraising initiatives. The reason why I'm saying if you cared about Medicare or Medicaid fraud, you would kill Rick Scott is because, and not make him a
Joel
prominent part.
says, Pearl Reed, I remember when I was 16, I thought to myself, I'm never going to look good again in my life. This is my prime. I knew my hormones were overflowing. Thank you, Lior.
Of the Republican Party is because he, to this day, is...
Pearl Reed, I had a friend, he was simping for this girl hard. My friends kept telling him he was being stupid. Turns out she was a lesbian. George says, I've done a few simp interventions for friends. Joel, Pearl, Blessing didn't upgrade. He did. Men always upgrade. Women upgrade sometimes. Like I had a girl in college. I knew her boyfriend dumped her for, they were doing like a distance thing, but they'd been together like 6 years and he dumped her for some girl in his dorm. I guess I think he just wanted new, right? He didn't want to cheat, but he didn't want to break up. So he went, dumped her, hooked up with the new girl. I guess she wasn't all she cracked up to be. He cracked that, he thought she would be. And he was kind of dumb because this girl, she was like not the prettiest girl on my team, but men were always lined up to date her. Like this girl was like the most crushed on. She's just a likable person. People just really liked her. Anyways, now she's married to a doctor. She did do better. He was way better looking too than her. Yeah, she did. He dumped her. Then he came back and was like, do you want to get back together? And she's like, no. No, I don't. Yeah. Pearl, if it's the same girl, now you owe Pearl 500 at. No. He's on to bigger and better things. Pearl Reed, black women hate the concept of fathers and their children's lives. Carlos, so many of these hosts seem so uneducated, unprofessional, and obnoxious. How do they have jobs? Is it just that they're on the same wavelength as the unwashed masses? Am I missing something? Yeah. Pearl, what do you think? Oh, I read that already. Let me go to the bottom, make sure. Okay.
Is still also known as committing the largest Medicare fraud in U.S. history.
Yeah, okay. So, he says I'm dumb, but he got banned off of Twitch for that. Now, Hassan came crawling back and he said, I'm sorry. I'll choose my words carefully next time. If Mike Johnson cares about Medicare fraud, since he wants to cut $800 million from Medicare and Medicaid, he'd call for max punishment for current Florida GOP former Rick Scott, who has done the most Medicare fraud in history. Attached to his apology were screenshots of documents relating to Senator Scott's company, which paid more than $1 billion in fines since the early 2000s. A big shout out to the right-wing free speech lovers who took time out of their day screaming about DEI and immigrants to cry about this. Well, you've spent a lot of time crying about me, so yeah, I'll cry right back. Streamers are like the worst people on the planet. I won't lie to you guys. But I think that's all the ones I went through. So how is that working for you, Hassan? I see you're banned on Twitch and I'm remonetized on YouTube. So I'm actually going to read a tweet because I want to talk about some of the stuff we're going to do in the future. Text. Now, I understand that people are going to complain, they're going to cry, but in this community, I want to be on to bigger and better things. There's only so much we can do about the world's problems, right? But I want to build a community that's focused on making the best of the situation we have. And this is going to be very education focused. And as you guys know, part of the reason I love YouTube so much is I love learning and I'm a very curious person. And I love learning about the world and all of this, And so what I'm going to do is on the Audacity Network, I'm going to bring in intelligent, smart men to film modules for it. And I'm going to read a tweet or a text from Shiv today. Let me find it. Just some ideas that we were ballparking. I'm working on fleshing out how the courses will look. I like the idea of filling in all of these categories: health, wealth, love and relationships, happiness and well-being, in a miscellaneous section. So you guys are going to want to get into now because And what I'm going to do is I think on Fridays, we're going to film vlogs. And so we'll fly in experts in a certain subject. We'll do a vlog with them. And then they'll film a module of instructions behind the paywall. And it's all going to be on the Audacity Network app. So the price is pretty cheap now because we haven't put the modules on it yet. But as soon as I put them up, which they're editing my first one now. So maybe in the next couple of days, week. As soon as it's ready, I'm going to up the price. So, yeah, we're going to ignore these crazy people. Except every now and then it's fun to roast them. But remember, guys, half the people that are doing these crazy reaction channels, they have no integrity. They're going to go with the trends. They're not going to stand up for what they believe in. And lucky for me, even though I'm thankful that YouTube brought me back, I am free. Because we have enough members on the website to cover costs. So, woo! So, they can't take this away from me anymore. Because if worst comes to worst, Rumble shuts down, YouTube shuts down, I still have my website. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like the video on your way out and subscribe. And I will be back tomorrow for another episode of Pearl Daily. Let me double check any super chats I missed. I think I read them all. If I didn't, leave a comment and I'll read it next show. But I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be back, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.